I was sitting all alone in my library chair when I found a book and it gave me a scare. The pages I kept turning, it quite took me in. What was it? Oh, where do I begin? We read the monsters. I read the monsters next door. The monsters. It had short stories galore. The monsters. It's full of horror and gore. The monsters. I read the monsters next door.
At a cursed crossroads where souls collide, see the Prince of Darkness, see the Prince of Lies, while the world lies sleeping and the moon's aglow. There you may meet with the devil, you know. When your heart is quaking and your soul can't rest, open up the pages of the devil you know best. People face their demons as each tale unfolds, but the devil's in the details, and their fate's been sold. Hear their fate's been sold, and they're lost to hell. That's the deal you have to make with the devil you know well.
Once upon a modern time, in a little cul-de-sac, black characters from myth and rhyme decided to come back. They moved into a cuter house, they bought a boat and car, they got a job, they got a spouse, they're ready to go far. This modern life, with all its strife, is wilder than before. You won't forget the day you met the fables next door. You won't forget the day you met the fables next door.
In the dark, they write their tales, spinning webs with ghostly trails. Words so chilling, they prevail. In the night, their echoes wail. In comes the mask, his mic in hand. Horror writers take the stand. Questions deep like shifting sand. In the spotlight, understand. Books of terror, stories flow. Pages turn, shadows glow. Horrors you don't want to know. Welcome to the damn show. Gothic Scrivener, what's your name? Tell us of your twisted game. How you fill the hearts with shame. Set the horror world aflame. Scripted nightmare, deadly scene. Heaven, hell, no in between. What's the villain's devious scheme? Cloying darkness so serene. Books of terror, stories flow. Pages turn, shadows glow. Horrors you don't want to know. Welcome to the damn show.
That's right. Welcome to the Damn Show. I like that little song. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Damn Show on the Critical Blast podcast. I'm your host, Damascus Mintzmeyer. Our regular host, RJ Carter, has been recruited by the government's top secret suicide squad and is currently on a mission to stop an intergalactic armada of evil aliens from invading Arkansas. Don't worry, though, he'll be back tomorrow night. But in the meantime, I'll be interviewing author Izzy Vaughn, whose debut novel, A Dandy Among the Dead, right here, was released earlier this year. We'll be spending the next hour talking about writing, zombies, fashion, and the best Depeche Mode songs for killing the undead. So, happy the Friday 13th to
Yes,
everyone. Also,
happy Friday the 13th. I got it's Friday. I'm in love.
excellent. I've got my Friday the 13th
Oh,
shirt
nice.
on also. So,
Nice.
we're both prepared.
Mhm.
Are you superstitious? Have any chance?
No, not at all.
How about you? Me neither. How about you, RJ? Are you suspicious? Are you superstitious? Suspicious, superstitious. I don't know. Anyway, so Izzy, I like to begin every single one of my shows with this question, which is, well, first I would like to thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for
But
having
then
me.
I always like to begin every show by asking this question, which is, who are you? What do you do? And why do you do it?
Well, I'm Izzy Vaughn. I write. I'm a parent, and I love writing, and I love storytelling, and I love movies and horror, and so yeah,
Excellent.
as you can see,
Uh,
horror
yes,
collection.
absolutely. I'm a horror freak myself.
hmm
So tell us about A Dandy Among the Dead. What's it about, and what inspired the idea?
Uh, it is a story about the end of the world. On Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, half the world's population died, and a couple hours later, they came back. Most of them as just your regular run of the mill zombies, but others came back as things much, much worse. And the story is we're just following this character, the dandy, who just rides the highways and byways of Texas and collects supplies for people. And she meets a kid, a very foul mouthed preteen, who has been surviving on her own with her zombie teenage brother. But don't worry, he doesn't bite, so he's cool. Um, and it's just about the dandy escorting this kid across Texas to Louisiana to her grandfather's house. And yeah, that's basically the story. But there's there's wrestlers in it. I'm a huge wrestling fan, so I had to put wrestlers in it. So yeah, that's basically the story. It was really fun to write because I'm a huge zombie fan. I love George Romero. Um,
Yes.
that was probably the biggest influence. Just him, not only with his zombie movies, but with all of his movies. Like Martin, Night Riders is my favorite movie. I can talk for hours about George Romero. So he has had an impact on my life and really kind of opened my eyes to what you can do. Because he was just a kid from New York who loved movies and loved making movies, and he went and did it. Um,
hmm
and it was just him and his friends, and I think that's great. So yeah, zombie movies and zombie games, Resident Evil. But I wanted to kind of add in things that weren't just regular zombies. There are creatures that are the sizes of mountains and the sizes
The
of Buicks.
Leviathan.
Yeah,
Yes.
um, I like that. I just think that's terrifying to look, off in the distance, and there's a creature whose leg is the size of a skyscraper. That's terrifying to me. So I had to put it in. So yeah.
I loved George Romero also. He had a big influence on me too. I remember when
Nice.
I was 17, I saw Night of the Living Dead for the first time. I had bought like
Mhm,
the VHS for like $5.
mhm.
Didn't know anything about it. Didn't know anything about the ending. I remember when I saw the ending for the first time, I was screaming at the television because I was like, I had no idea
Yeah,
what was going to happen.
yeah,
But and Dawn of the Dead also had a really really big influence on me.
yeah,
But I also love his other movies, like you said, Martin. That's a
yeah,
really really underrated movie right there.
yeah, yeah. I think Martin is probably his best movie. I think, technically and stuff. He was an
Hmm.
amazing editor.
Hmm.
A lot of people don't know that. Like, yeah, he edited the shit out. Oh, can I cuss? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he was an amazing editor. He edited Martin. Just, I mean, it's one of my favorite edited movies because I'm a film nerd and I look at that stuff.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, yeah. Sam Raimi too. I mean, the Evil Dead trilogy is just amazing, and like there's like the Dandy is it's not really a serious story.
Hmm.
It's got some laughs, some fun, and that is, I think, comes from Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness and stuff. You know.
Return of the Living Dead. I sense some Return of the Living Dead in there also.
Yeah,
The
a little bit.
like zombies that can talk, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that was Bub. I think if we had gone a little farther for in Day of the Dead, there's a zombie who talks, or he
Right,
says a word. Um, he says, "Hi, Aunt Alicia," which is like crazy, right? And
right.
so I got a little bit of that. I think Andrew can say one word sentences, and that's what I kind of kept him at. I didn't think he would be somebody who could have long philosophical conversations. Um, so,
Yeah, let's talk
I,
about these characters. Let's talk about the
mhm,
dandy first. He's a really
mhm,
engaging lead character with a can-do attitude and a cynical sense of humor. Because you said humor had a really big part in this book. What
mhm.
inspired her?
um, I don't know. I think me, I guess, this um, who I want to be, I guess, is you know, um, because she's so free and easy. She just has this twirl about her before she knocks the zombie's head off. Um, and it's that coolness that I aspire to be, because I think I'm such a loser. Like, I think of myself as like not great and stuff. So
Right.
I think you know having like my projection of myself is her. Just carefree, easy, confidence, um, witty. So
Oh yeah, she is. And
um,
she wields a cane also. That's like
mhm,
her primary weapon of choice. What was the idea to
yeah.
give her that as a
I,
weapon?
I just
It
thought
looks
a
cool.
dandy. Yeah, I mean, I thought a dandy would have a cane, but I didn't like what's a cane gonna do? I mean, it's a piece of wood, so I was like, you could outfit those things, especially like I play kind of you know loose and easy with she got this from this place, and she got the cane from um, a blacksmith that welded it or made it for her for an errand run. So she got it from, and it was just, I just thought it would be cool. I thought she had, Ash has a chainsaw. The dandy should have something that's cool too. So definitely um, a, a cool piece, part of her
It definitely
character.
goes along with it goes along with her attitude, and it goes along with like her fashionista attitude. Because she's very very coiffed, I guess you could
Mhm.
say. Like
Yeah.
she goes to all the stores, like she gets all the fine clothing, and
Mhm.
she makes sure every detail of her wardrobe is perfect.
Mhm.
Even after the end of the world, fashion to her
Yeah.
is like haute couture is very
Yeah.
important to her.
Uh, she, closeout prices, I mean, everything's on sale now. So, I mean,
Of
she can
course.
go, I mean, in who she was before, she was a wrestling manager. I said there's wrestlers in this. and that's who she was. She was a manager who kind of like a Paul Heyman. I really thought of like a Miss Elizabeth, Sherry Martell, those types of just really just just great, just uh, great on the mic. And Miss Elizabeth, she was very fashion forward, so I think I think that was another inspiration as well. But yeah, that's what I mean. She's comfortable talking in front of people, really quick witted. You have to be on the mic, when you're in a live crowd at a wrestling show. Um,
Right.
they do not hold back. They will let you know what's up. So
So where did the idea for Ash and Andrew come from? The siblings.
my kids. Yeah. This whole thing started because I wanted to kind of do something with them. They, my son is in choir. He was in theater. He's a goofball just like me. My daughter is loves makeup, loves makeup effects. Tom Savini. She got to meet Tom Savini and show her his stuff or show him her stuff. And she
That's
loves to
awesome.
act. Yeah, and so I just wanted to kind of do something with them, film a little something. I mean, I got stuff around. I could cobble together. I have a phone that is takes really good pictures. So it was just something. So that whole first chapter, that was just that was the first stuff that I wrote. So that was supposed to be just something fun to do over the summer, and it just turned into a book because I got obsessed with it and totally
Right.
took it away.
How long did it take to write this book actually?
it took a couple of months. Um, I had the first part down, and then it just came really fast. Just kind of what I wanted to do and where I wanted it to end because I'm going to pick it up, from where it leaves off. Um, but it took me about 3 months to write, and then a couple of months just to you know fine tune it. And so yeah, I actually wrote it coming up almost on a year when I started to
Hmm.
write it. I started writing it in October of 2023, finished in like December, and then released it in February.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And it's your debut novel. Is this the first thing you ever had published?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's self-published, but yes.
Well, hey, that
I'm
counts, man. Don't knock
Yeah.
it. Don't knock it.
Well, um, until I start getting a little bit more of the cheddar, then yeah. Um, but yeah, this is. I mean, I've been writing forever. I've been writing, stories, comics, movies. I wrote like a ton of scripts. Like
Oh, cool.
I feel like a seasoned veteran already, and I haven't
Yeah.
done anything.
I
Um,
know that feeling. I know
yeah,
that feeling.
I
I've been
wrote.
writing and drawing. I've been writing and drawing since I was like 12, 13. So I have like hundreds and hundreds of projects. Very few of them have ever actually gotten completed, but I feel like
Yeah,
a veteran, just like you.
yeah, yeah. It's yeah. It's hard to explain to people because it's like I'm a rookie. I'm a rookie technically in sports terms, baseball terms. I'm a rookie still.
Hmm.
Um, but I mean, yeah, I wrote a book called Battle, and it was 700 pages, man. I mean, it's a
Wow.
monster. No one will
Wow.
ever read it. It's one of those where it's like I spent years on it, and it's great. The stories are really cool, but no, it's too much. So what I did was, and I rewrote it like 3 or 4 times too, which does not help.
Every
Um,
writer does this. Every
yeah,
single writer has one of those books that they worked on like in their 20s that is like epic that no one will ever read, that they've
nobody.
spent years and years on. I did the same thing.
Yeah.
I think every writer really does that.
I think it's great because it really lets you flesh out stuff. Like, you can see what works and what doesn't, without anybody really, reading it. You might give it
Hmm.
to a spouse or whoever. But I mean,
Right.
just write, who cares? I mean, work out all your kinks then and there. And then so like when you move on to actually working on something that is going to get published, um, you got that stuff worked out. So
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Also, you also get a chance to figure out your style and
Mhm.
the things you like and things you don't like.
Yeah.
Because if you're like me, those early works are kind of like kitchen sink projects. You just throw a bit everything that you like, you just throw it in there. You
Man,
know,
your daddy issues, mommy issues, work with themes galore,
right?
yeah, just get it out, just see what's in there. You never know, there could be a nugget in there, it might not be very
True.
big, but it's there, and then you could put it somewhere else. I have is this is, I know, random, uh but in 2 weeks I release another book,
Hmm.
and one of the lines that I put in the Dandy, I actually ripped off from the book that's coming out in 2 weeks. So I took it from one to the other because I didn't think it was gonna be anything. The book, The Jetty, it's
Hmm.
um, it was just one of those things where I just had to get out of me because it was like weighing me down, just like the themes of because it was like I had to get it out. If I don't get it out, it's gonna weigh on me. I'm gonna lose sleep, and it's not good. Uh, so like I wrote it, it was cool, and then I did the Dandy, and then I remembered that one line, so I took it and put it. And then I started thinking, it's like, man, no, that come to think of it, that was a pretty good story. I'll just go ahead and finish it. So here we are, 2 weeks out. So
That's cool though.
yeah, I like to write fast
What?
because it's like it because then it'll turn into that 700-page novel that nobody will ever read. Like just
Right.
do it, get it out, be fine with it, and then just put it out. So,
And have fun with it too. That's the other angle. You got to have
oh
fun with
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Nothing
I think
worse
that
than when RJ pointed this out once that like you don't want to like you don't want to have it become like work, like the
no,
writing like part of it, because then it's not any fun.
dude, it's dead. Like
Yeah,
if this is work, if this is a yeah, it's dead on arrival. It'll never work. You know. Yeah, it's got to be fun. And writing the Dandy was really fun. I got to
that
play around.
translates. That part translates when you read
Yeah,
it because it is a really really fun,
mhm,
fast-paced read. But the
yeah,
fun is like the word that I can think of the most when I
yeah,
was reading it. It was a fun story to read. I could tell you it was a fun story to write.
yeah. Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun just to be a smart ass. That's all it really is. I'm just joking around.
Ash is she's like the voice of the smart ass side of you. I can tell because
Oh
she's the
yeah.
one always pointing stuff out and having
Hmm.
the
It's always
wisecracks and stuff.
always the other flip of she's always the other side of the coin, the devil's advocate. And I think that's kind of where their relationship works because the Dandy is not about the kids.
Right?
She
Yeah.
is, she's like there are people out there that not kid person. Um, that is the Dandy. Dandy is not a kid
Hmm.
person. So there's so she's not trying to be her friend, but they just end up bonding because of the world that's they live in.
Yeah.
They're
In a
they're sharing
way,
their trauma.
it's almost like a buddy comedy. Like in a
Yeah,
way, you can almost think of that.
yeah,
There's
like on the
definitely that angle
road.
to it.
Yeah, just the on the buddy comedy, the road trip. That's that's a lot of it. And the people that you meet along the way, and they do meet some very very interesting people. So.
Yes, they do. Let's talk about some of those creatures you were telling us about, because some of those are really interesting. Your regular like Romero style gut munching zombies.
Mhm. Yep.
Then you've got some other interesting creatures. You've got the gray eyes, which
Yep.
I want people to hear about these. Tell us about the
Okay,
gray eyes.
so the gray eyes are just, I mean, they're just like you and me. They survived Black Friday, and but somewhere along the way, they died, whether, car accident, they got shot, whatever, right? But they come back, but they don't come back as a zombie. They come back as themselves, but they have gray eyes. Um, the only thing, though, is that they are extremely addicted to human blood. Also, they can regenerate. So if you blow off an arm or a leg, they can regrow it using whatever is around. And in the book, um, the dandy comes across a gray eye, and let's just say after the encounter, the gray eye is not doing well, and what she puts in the cavity is disgusting. So
That was one of my favorite parts in the book. I was laughing so hard at that because
it,
I was like, did that just happen? And I was like,
yeah,
yeah, okay, that just happened. But it fits though. It is so funny though.
yeah,
It
it
is
was just
so
for that
funny.
one. It was just for that one line too. I want you to know
Yeah,
when yeah, but that's I think that's funny. I don't know. I don't know. I'm
I
weird, but
thought it was
it,
funny,
yeah, I thought
but
yeah,
then again, I got a sick sense of humor anyway, so it's okay.
same, yeah,
But
same.
and then there's the gray eyes, and then there's, as you pointed out, there's like beast, and then there's the giant, massive leviathans, which are almost like
Mhm.
kaiju's. They're
Yeah,
just like
I don't.
how did you? Where did that come from? Did that come from Resident Evil and like like the big creatures and the
Yeah,
like?
I love Resident Evil, especially Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2 is probably one of my favorite games. I just love the monstrosity of what creatures can really morph into, and I love body horror as well. And so,
And
these things that were once human are, they have just massive growths everywhere that really beef them up. The Leviathans were, people, that grew to that size. Um, but yeah, I just wanted a good mix. I didn't want just the same old random, like the same old stuff, Romero's zombies are Romero zombies. And I think too many people have kind of played in that sandbox, and I respect him enough to steal just a little bit and to kind of put it and sprinkle it into mine. But I wanted to kind of have a bit of originality and some fun. So yeah, that's just a fun time. There's also Shrieker, or Shrie- Shriekers. They are roaming like bands of zombies. Will keep them because they give off this shriek whenever they see people. So you know, so zombies use those. And Andrew, the brother, he's a specific type of zombie that doesn't. He's benign, and I write that in the book. He's just a benign zombie who doesn't um, care. He doesn't.
yeah, he's
Um,
like he'd be like the bub. He'd be like that bub figure because he was in that same sort of way.
yeah,
He was kind of like
uh,
a benign sort of.
yeah.
He was
It,
dead, but he wasn't going to eat you.
no, he didn't. Yeah, Andrew doesn't have any interest in eating at all. He spends his time reading, which is directly from my son because my son is a voracious reader. Uh, so I got that from him.
That's great though. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
We need more readers, I
yeah. He liked my book. He read it. He was like, "No, that's a good job." He's like, "Thanks,
think.
thanks." Yeah. And
That's
Andrew.
awesome though.
Oh heck yeah. Yeah, like the people that have read it have really responded very positively. Um, in people that don't have they don't know me anything, but they still you know like it and tell me they like it, and so that's like super awesome. My wife, who is a book snob, I love you, Chris, but she and I told her, it's like you can be brutal. Um, I got a thick skin, you know what I'm saying? And I can take criticism, it's okay. And she was, upfront with me about the stuff that was good and not the stuff that was bad. And it's like I love that, I love because I want to get better, So and I took to heart my grammar. I'm still working on my grammar, but I went back, I reread it, and I did the best I could. Um, because man, you read that stuff over and over again, and it just becomes like wallpaper.
That is true. That's why you gotta have. Sometimes you gotta have a second set of eyes on that
Yeah.
because I do that too. And no matter how well you read through it, something always slips through, and then you look at it
Always.
and you're like, fuck, you know, that always happens.
I did it to the book.
Always happens.
I released the second book earlier this year too, and I thought I had it. It was perfect. I got through it. Oh, everything, and then I just flipped. Like I just opened it to a random page, looked down, spelling error. I'm like, no, no.
Oh man.
So, but that's how it goes sometimes. I really wish I paid more attention in English class. But I tried to compensate that with a good story, good themes, good characters.
The problem with English class sometimes to me is when I was there is because even when I was in high school, I was like
Hmm.
sci-fi horror, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. And they were teaching the stuff they were teaching us was definitely not that, you know.
No,
So
they're classics.
even though I, even though I love to read,
Mm,
the stuff we were being forced to read was not stuff that I had an interest in. So I tended
yeah,
not to do too well in English class,
yeah,
even though I was a huge voracious reader.
yeah. I
Because
remember read.
if they were teaching, if we were reading this like in English class, I would have been like all over it.
Yeah.
But
My son messaged me from his library the other day, and they have Stephen King there. They have it and a bunch of Stephen King. It is a very graphic book,
oh yeah,
and mine's not. Mine's not really that graphic.
yeah, no,
It,
no, it isn't.
a lot of f bombs. If you're that's the one thing people have said. It's like it's very cussy.
Hmm.
But that's just how they talk.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I remember reading the Canterbury Tales in high school. But that's like I don't remember the specific stories like Henry V maybe. Um,
Right.
I think if I mean, who knows? I don't know how to teach, so I shouldn't say anything.
But yeah, I remember there's like the Pilgrim's Tale and there's like the
uh,
Miller's Tale and
remember I
like
remember
that kind of
Hatchet.
thing.
Remember Hatchet?
Hatchet.
Hatchet was a
I
big one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I actually think I've got that somewhere. I think I actually have a
Oh,
copy of that book.
I made my son read it. I was like, "You're reading it." Yeah, my son read it. He's read Lord of the Rings. Like um, he's really just he loves it. It's like, and he's got ADHD too, and he's just
Hmm.
a reader. It's great. Yeah.
So who were your favorite writers growing up?
I mean, obviously King, but I love Clive Barker. Um, I'm a big Clive Barker fan. Oh
Right
yeah,
there.
yeah, nice,
Right there.
nice.
A
Yeah, I
whole bunch of
got
them.
yeah, so I got that one. Books
Yeah.
of Blood too.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I got a bunch of them over here. So
There's my books of blood.
oh
Got
cool.
my books of blood right there. Yeah.
And I love his stuff. Um, Man, my mind's gone blank. I love Laurel Hightower. She wrote uh, The Day of the Door and Crossroads. Those are very, very good. Oh my God, I'm blanking. I'm sorry. I know, like I'm gonna. It's like, oh man, I love this person, this person, this person. If you go to my Instagram, then you'll see like, because I post like all the good stuff there, and I love this person. You should read this person. Eve Harms is really good. She did Transmuted, and
Hmm.
that was a really good book. And she's got another book coming out next year. Chasers. Um, she's really good. But I mean, I like her, because she speaks to me. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I love Mary Shelley. I think
Oh yeah.
Frankenstein is like I never felt so emotional reading a book as I did reading Frankenstein. It was just it's just beautiful, just a
I
beautiful
love that
book,
book.
and yeah. Um,
To anyone who's never read the book Frankenstein, I'm going to tell you something.
mhm.
It's nothing like any of the movies.
No,
Okay.
no,
The book is
no.
so different. I wish there would
Yeah,
actually be a movie that was like the book. And that
Yeah.
goes for Dracula too, because seriously, there's not really actually been an actual honest Dracula adaptation.
Mhm. Yeah, I think
So,
I mean Frankenstein talks, and
oh
he's
yes,
just super
he's
smart,
smart. Yeah.
and I love that. And I love the ambiguity of the ending. We don't really know what happens to him.
Hmm.
Um, but it's sad, it's a
Oh
sad,
yeah.
it's very depressing and bleak. But I mean it's just an epic tale of this person, doctor who, his life, with his family, going to school, and then yeah, if you haven't read Frankenstein, read it, listen to it. Yeah, it's very worth your time. I'm not really too much on the classics, but that one really, oh yeah, really good, really good.
Yeah. I agree with
Um,
you on that one. And Clive
and
Barker too, because Clive Barker and
yeah,
did the same thing with me that George Romero did. Like that had a huge impact on me. I remember the first time I read the very first volume of Books of Blood, and the Midnight Meat Train,
mhm.
like blew
Yeah,
me away. Like
forget about it.
I never saw that. I never. It was just so raw and visceral, and it was like violent, but it was
Yeah,
also in the ending. I'm not gonna blow it for
yeah,
anybody, but
no,
like
yeah.
the ending,
He
just like I was like, wow, like that. You can
he
actually do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. That's the thing, right? It's like I wasn't really that violent, with the dandy and stuff,
Hmm.
because I didn't really like. I don't know. For one, I don't think there was like a lot of, you know, there was other stuff going on, and but with him, it's like the Hellbound Heart is such a beautiful book. It is beautifully written, and it's almost like poetry, just how he writes. It's just beautiful. Yeah, Hellbound Heart is one of my favorites. He does he does the audio version of the Hellbound Heart. It's abridged, but he does it, and it is one of my favorite audio performance books ever. Like,
He does have a very distinct voice too.
he
That
does.
is,
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. I met him.
oh, oh, I'm jealous. I'm jealous right now.
Yeah, he's really cool. I had him sign a Hellraiser poster, and
Oh,
he
cool,
was like right there. He was like, it's cool.
awesome. But yeah, you're right. The dandy doesn't go too overboard into like ultra violence. Like a lot of
Mhm.
zombie stories really do kind of lean
Yeah,
on that, which
I
gets
mean, it's
kind
fine
of
if that's your gimmick, but I mean,
right.
the zombies and the all that stuff is just like, wallpaper. It's just there. It's just what's happening. And the real story is about um, these people trying to survive, trying to get batteries for their Walkmans, and yeah,
And then Depeche,
cruising
so
around.
they can
Yeah,
play their Depeche Mode CDs.
yeah. I I bought so I, I'm currently writing the next Dandy story, and it's called Xmas of the Dead.
Right.
And in it, we start right up where we left off,
Oh, cool.
and the uh, the CDs are going to be a big part of kind of that story and stuff about trying to find the Depeche Mode CD and stuff. I bought all Depeche Mode CDs from the '80s, right? Because one of the things I
Hmm.
want to do is I used to make mixtapes all the time when I was a kid.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was a thing, right? And
Oh yeah, I did.
I bought all the Depeche Mode CDs. I'm gonna make mixtapes of
Excellent.
their songs to because that's what the dandy is doing. She's making a mixtape so that so she doesn't have to keep on one CD from the other. But yeah, I think that'd be it's just a she would do that. So
Depeche Mode is one of my favorite bands too. I love that.
yeah.
I just love the, and I've still got all my CDs that I bought
Mhm.
way back in the
Yeah.
day.
Oh yeah.
Got them all. Yep,
Yeah.
got all that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I got to
And
I got to see him twice last year, man. That was
oh,
cool.
sweet.
Yeah. Saw him in San Antonio and then in Austin.
What's your favorite album?
Oh God, music for the masses.
Oh God, that's a
Oh,
good one.
well, I mean, Violator is Violator. Oh man, see, like, how much more time we got?
Oh,
The-
20 minutes,
yeah.
25 minutes.
I mean, I think the '80s era is completely different from the '90s era.
Oh, definitely.
And then obviously after I think Exciter, going into Playing the Angel and stuff like that. They evolve and they're still amazing. The Memento Mori album that came out
Oh yeah.
what last year, 2 years ago.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah, last year.
I was blown away. I mean, it was amazing. If anybody hasn't listened to it, you should. But yeah, I mean, Speak and Spell is really good, and I don't know, man. It's all of them, but
I
but
love
my favorite
it.
but my favorite song is "Never Let Me Down Again." I can say that. So
Reference that. Yeah, you referenced that in the book. That was the Dandy's the song she used when she would open the wrestling
yep, yeah,
her wrestling.
yeah. That's her theme song, her entrance music.
If I had to pick one album of theirs, I probably would go with Black Celebration.
Oh man, yeah,
That
yeah,
one would
yeah,
probably be my favorite.
yeah.
Although the one I've been listening to the most lately has been Construction Time Again.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I like the clanging and the almost industrial sound of it.
very.
Because that one,
It's Yeah, I think like that early Depeche Mode, like I mean, it had to have an influence on people like Nine Inch Nails and
oh yeah, big time.
Chu Ishikawa, who did the music for Tetsuo the Iron Man. I mean,
Ah,
it
that's a good
just, it
one.
just oh yeah, that's I think that's in my top 4 or 5. I got that one. I got
That
the
goes into
VHS.
yeah, it goes into that
So
body horror you were
yeah,
talking about right there.
yeah. I think anybody who has body images issues can really tap into that. And in writing this story, it really helped me um, kind of deal with issues that I was going through, with myself and everything. So writing is amazing. Writing is, it's art and it's therapy. Especially the book that's coming out in 2 weeks. It is a total 150-page therapy session, you know, of this trans woman who just needs a vacation
Hmm.
and um, falls into a cult that want to feed her to the demon of fear, so that the demon can suck her life force out and make her into a brainless worker. And
That sounds
but
amazing.
but and it's so okay. So remember, I told you I love Frankenstein. So
Hmm.
it's the title is like Frankenstein or the Modern Prometheus. So obviously, I'm gonna steal that, right? So the title of the book is The Jetty, or Don't Fuck with a Trans Woman from Texas with a Gun. And and so
Oh,
yeah,
I love that.
they're, they're gonna want to feed her to the demon, but they're gonna find out that she got other plans. So
I love that. I
yeah.
love it.
And this one's violent. Like I put all the violence in this one, but
Oh, awesome.
because it needed, like, not needed it, but it fit more. I think within this story, the dandy, it's fun. There's no point in going into the gore, um,
Yeah, that would ruin the
because
lighthearted. That would ruin the lighthearted atmosphere of it. I think.
yeah, and I want to keep that up. That kind of that lighthearted attitude, even though that there's horrible things still going around. There's still horrible people in the world. Well, yeah, in this world and in the dandies world.
Right.
And there's a group called the Templar, who is a complete ripoff of the KKK and super ultra religious groups. I'm from Texas. It's I grew up with it. I grew up
Hmm.
hearing the most foul words, being hurled at people. And if in the book I mirror that, and it's because that's how these people are. They do not care about your feelings. They don't care about you. They only care about
That's right.
themselves. And so, yeah. But
What are your writing
yeah,
what are your writing habits like? Like,
I
do you listen to music? Do you need silence?
I listen to music. It just depends on what the it calls for. Um, for the dandy, I listen to a lot of um, Depeche Mode, obviously.
Obviously.
Um, and I think that kind of translated a little bit because Depeche Mode, especially in the early time, is very, it's very up, and especially like Speak and Spell.
Hmm.
I mean that is like, let's get on the dance floor and groove.
Yeah,
Um,
but the lyrics are dark. Like,
yeah, yeah, especially like later on.
yeah. Well, even Speak and Spell has. I sometimes
Oh,
wish I were dead. I mean,
yeah, yeah. I'm definitely
that's
adding
like a
that
little.
one to the mixtape.
Yeah, because that one. I mean, that's a really upbeat poppy song. But seriously, man, I mean, listen to the lyrics.
Very, yeah, very.
But
Yeah, it just
you
depends. I just write in bundles. Like I try to write. Uh, uh, I I read Stephen King's on writing, and I try to get 2,000 words a day, and try to write every single day. But I work a job, like, and a lot of the time, I'm not able to write. So I try to get as much. I try to write when I can. Usually on breaks. Usually when I'm supposed to be working, I'm writing. I stay up late at night sometimes on the weekend, and I'll bust out 2,000 words or whatever. So, but yeah, music to just put me in the box. For the Jetty, the first part of it, I was listening to a mix of Alice in Chains and Mad Season, specifically Alice in Chains from the Jar of Flies album. Very
that's
depressing
a good
stuff.
album.
So it really kind of fit that mood of I have absolutely no clue what is going on in my life. I am so like because the character is 2 years into her transition, and her wife left her because um, you know sometimes you're not you know um, hip. You're not with it. That's not what you were expecting. And so there's a lot of
Right.
guilt, and there's a lot of that. Because I know for me, if I mean, because those were like legitimate fears that I had, been
Hmm.
married to somebody, and, one day it's like, oh, by the way, just figured this
Right.
out about myself. And I mean, you don't know what's going to happen, And luckily, me and my wife, we love each other, and we're still together. So, I mean, we're going to be together forever. And, but,
Uh,
that was a legitimate fear that I had. So I had to write it down. So, yeah, the character's got a lot of stuff, a lot of dad stuff. I got a lot of dad stuff, so
right.
yeah,
That's awesome, though.
yeah.
So, okay, finish this sentence. My favorite
So,
scene in Dandy Among the Dead is.
um, I think my favorite scene in Dandy Among the Dead is chapter 13, when she's in the shower.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that.
Because um, that 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 went a lot farther than it ended up being, because it was like I wrote it really graphic, and then I just cut it. It's like I got up to that point, and then I said, okay, that's good. But it's just because she is newly single. Her boyfriend, her ex, is a jerk, and she's been on the road. She's finally getting a hot shower, and he just like busts in and is like, you need to talk to me. And she's like, motherfucker, I am showering right now. And just their whole back and forth is pretty funny. I think anything with Dandy and Ash is
Oh yeah,
those two were just so fun to write, and just the back and
like
forth between them.
like I said, buddy comedy. It's like a buddy
Yeah.
comedy right there with those two.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, and I asked my wife, I was like, what's one thing that you really like seeing in like a road trip movie, like, like Christmas or family vacation or whatever? And she's like, when they go visit those those stupid little attractions, those roadside attractions. Um, I didn't write one in this book, but it's gonna be in the next one. But yeah, I was like that was like the buddy comedy, the road trip stuff was definitely on my mind. I was thinking of just cool stuff for these people to do. Instead of just being on a bike, on an electric
Right,
bike for 100 pages.
right. Now we get the lightning round of nerd questions. This is
Okay.
probably my favorite part of any show. It's
Okay.
almost like three-word association. You just first thing that pops in your mind.
Okay.
Okay. All-time favorite movie.
Night of the Living Dead, the
Cool.
original.
Yes. That actually covers probably my next, which was my next question, which is all-time favorite zombie movie.
You know what? Um, I love Night of the Living Dead, but I think like as far as like a zombie movie, um, because Night of the Living Dead is like the best horror movie. Like it's so bleak, it is so depressing.
I love
But
it.
as
It's
far
probably my
as
favorite
like,
horror movie of all time.
oh yeah, I've probably watched that one the most. Probably that one, Dawn, Evil Dead 2, maybe, but yeah, definitely Night. I think Day of the Dead is probably the best, like all around. Like if we're just doing zombie stuff, Day of the Dead. Yeah, Day of the Dead.
The effects in Dan the Dead, I think, are the best that have ever been done in a zombie movie.
There's
Honestly,
no bad effect in that movie.
I know.
I mean, when that body is laying on that table with its brain exposed,
Hmm.
like, I have that movie like in 4K and like a bunch of different versions, and I'm sitting at the screen and I'm like watching to see if I can see the line of
Hmm.
makeup, and I can't see it. It's
Right.
just
Well, like
that's just the masterclass.
when they pull when the one zombie in the eye comes out, that
Oh
is like perfect.
yeah. Oh man.
Or Captain Rhodes at the end,
How it just
he's
gets
getting
ripped
pulled
apart.
apart. I mean, but
Yeah.
it's so flawless, though. I mean, it
Yeah.
looks so flawless.
It's just so good. And they just dug, it had a dug a hole
Yeah,
under the floor.
practical effects. I love
Yeah,
practical effects, man.
just
The hell CGI.
yeah, 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 man.
All right. Favorite guilty pleasure film? The one that's not that good, but that you love anyway.
Um, oh man, I don't know. I don't believe in guilty pleasures. I everything's pleasurable. I guess like my I love like my daughter is very much into like the Descendants and stuff, and so like we have a really good time watching those movies. So probably that. If I get like I know like I'm not supposed to like this because it is not meant for me for my demographic, but I do. I enjoy those. I think they're the songs are catchy, and it's just like it's good stuff. Pretty cool.
All right. Favorite TV show all time.
Twilight Zone, easy,
Yeah.
easy, easy
I
peasy.
love Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Original
Uh,
series, best stuff ever written, I think, and it still holds up really, really
oh
well.
man, it like the some some of those episodes. I mean, you could put on now. I mean, and see the reflection of what's going on
Oh
because
yeah,
those are timeless. Um, yeah, there's so many episodes that are just so well written, so well acted. You know, the filming was amazing. So yeah, yeah.
what would be your favorite
Oh,
episode if you had to pick one?
Stop at Willoughby was really good, just because because that's how I felt. The character is just in a rut job, doesn't like his wife, doesn't like his life sucks. It's not what he was meant to do, was to work in an office, and he gets a way out. So That
Yeah,
one. Um, uh, uh, I Am the Night, Color Me Black
that's a
is
good one.
one of, man, you want to talk about like storytelling, allegories, themes, I
In
mean,
like, and
just
they
in
did it
your
all in like
face
20,
stuff.
25 minutes. And they did it all in
Yeah,
20 and 25 minutes, full
yeah,
story.
it's so
I think my
powerful.
favorite episode, I love the Prime Mover.
Oh,
Just,
yeah.
I love that
Jed
one.
Clampett.
And
Yep.
yeah. And the one that freaked me out the most, though, was the silence. With the, he can't talk. He doesn't talk for like, what, it's a year, I think. And he's in that
Oh, yeah,
glass
yeah, yeah.
room.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then the end of that, I'm not going to blow the ending for people
Yeah.
who haven't seen it, but
Yeah.
seriously, when he takes that scarf off, I was all
Mhm.
like, oh shit, like I was like, no way, man.
Yeah.
But that one probably of all of them made me just like, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. And man, when they were good, they were good. Like Eye of the
Hmm.
Beholder is an amazing one.
Oh yeah.
Um, uh, what's the one, the Hitchhiker? I love like old school, like old time radio and stuff. And they had a
Hmm.
show called Suspense. Um,
Right.
and Orson Welles did The Hitchhiker, and it was written by Ida Lupino, and just an amazing. I think it's Ida Lupino. I have to go check on that, but yeah, yeah, great stuff. Yeah. I love all horror, like
Oh
books,
yeah.
movies, radio, old stuff. Like I love silent films. I love just finding anything I can.
Yeah.
Doing more.
I was just the other day on Threads, actually. I was telling everybody about the original Nosferatu
Hmm.
and how like creepy it is. Like back then,
Oh
that
yeah.
was like top line, like that was like state of the art back then,
Hmm.
and audiences were enthralled by it because they'd never seen anything like it before.
Yeah.
Nowadays, 100 years later, it's its very primitive quality is what makes
Hmm.
it so scary and creepy because it's
Yeah.
grainy, it's black and white,
Hmm.
and it's almost like looking into like a dream or something.
Yeah. It's very
But it,
dreamlike.
it has like a very otherworldly quality to it that they really
Hmm.
weren't intending on having,
Yeah.
but
I
nowadays
mean,
it does, and it's still scary. Like just the
oh yeah.
visuals of
Yeah.
Count Orlok in that are just very, very frightening.
That movie, the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. I mean, and I'm a huge fan of Lon Chaney too, so I can go on and on about Chaney. but,
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah.
those. Yeah.
Yeah, RJ's got it written. He's got it here. You're right.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Cool. 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 But yeah. Yeah. Lon Chaney. And I love acting too. Actually, I have an audition on Sunday
Oh,
for
cool.
a theater here nearby, and
Oh, awesome.
I'm from that Lon Chaney school of acting where it's your body language, it's your face, it's everything, right? I love that
Hmm.
stuff. I love acting like that, because I
That's
mean,
cool.
I played four different characters in one play once, and
Oh,
I
wow.
carried myself differently, shoulders up, stomach out, or dip to the side, just something, just little things to make your character stand out, you know. I'd love that shit.
Right.
So,
That goes back to the Twilight Zone. There was the episode "The Four of Us Are Dying."
oh
With
yeah, oh man, yeah, yeah.
All right. Next lightning round question. Five favorite musical performers other than Depeche Mode.
Okay. Alice in Chains. Oh my god. Typo Negative.
Yeah.
Um, Hellbender. That's the Adams Family. If you've um, seen their movies, the movie Hellbender, and
Hmm. Yeah, I've seen that
um,
movie.
oh, you seen it? Oh man,
Hmm.
they have the band Hellbender, and the band is just fucking amazing. Um, let's see. Oh my god. Two more. I love. Okay, let's see. Metallica.
Of course.
And I don't know. Chewy Ishikawa. I love Chewy Ishikawa. I love Tetsuo. I love the whole, yeah, industrial, heavy, fast. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I love industrial music.
Yeah,
That's one of my favorite kinds of music, actually.
yeah, yeah. That's cool.
right, favorite food.
I love. Uh, like I live in Texas, so Tex-Mex. you know, probably just some good tacos, a good burrito, nachos. Yeah, just good Tex-Mex, good salsa, very important. Yeah,
All right, favorite junk food.
chips. Chip eater, Doritos, man. Oh, yeah.
What was the name of your first pet?
Hobo.
All
Mm.
right, first celebrity crush.
Oh God, Christina Ricci. But the thing was, I wanted to be Christina Ricci at the same time, right? It was you remember
Right.
that movie, Adam's Family Values?
Yes, of
Where they go to
course.
the camp and stuff, where
Hmm.
Wednesday is there, and then the other blonde. Like I
Right.
imagined that I was like her best friend. Well, I mean they weren't best friends or whatever, but yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, her, yeah. But I just
Awesome.
wanted to be her. I thought she was just so amazing and beautiful, and I just wanted to be that. You know.
Awesome. You wake up in the last movie you watched. How do you fare?
Oh shit, I'm fucked. Friday the 13th Part Two. So I might have a chance with Sackhead. So
Oh,
I
I
think I'll be
watched
okay.
the last movie I watched was Slumber Party Massacre, so I
Nice.
might make it if I can get that drill away from him. I might be okay.
He's at least you're not in the second one with um the that driller killer with the
Hmm.
guitar. That
Yeah,
movie.
yeah,
I love
yeah.
that movie. That movie's great. Yeah.
Okay, you're stranded on a deserted island. What three things do you take with you?
Um and um I would take um a really okay, I'll take it just because it's a really big book. And I would take, oh man, uh I have 8 millimeter. Well, shit. I would have to figure out how to do light and then crank, then find the crank. But I would do like one of those old crank movies because I love movies, and I have like a bunch of 8 millimeter movies and stuff.
Oh, awesome.
And that's cool. See, I'm a collector, and
Hmm.
there's one thing that collectors like to do more than collecting, and that's to show off their collection.
Oh,
So that's why
absolutely.
I'm like pulling stuff. It's like, look.
No, I love it, man. Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah. So yeah,
I do
food, maybe a boat.
that. Boat, of course. Okay. Favorite vacation spot?
I love the woods, deep, deep, deep in the woods. Yeah, anywhere in the
Evil
woods.
Dead vibes. The Evil
Oh
Dead
yeah,
vibes out in the
put me in a
woods.
cabin, and I'm hunky dory.
All right. A biopic is made of the life of Izzy Vaughn. What's the name of the movie and what actor plays you?
Oh man, Florence Pugh is playing me, and um, oh, the name of it. Oh my God, Dizzy Izzy, I guess. Yeah, that's about right.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I love Florence. She's amazing.
Right. Related question: Hollywood options your novel for a movie. Who directs it, and what actors would you choose in the lead role?
Oh shit. Um, who directs it? I think Sam Raimi would be a really good choice for directing. I love the Addams Family. I think that they could give it a good go, because they're like what George was doing with his group. It's just friends. Getting together, money, making stuff. I think they would do a really good job because they have that kind of close knit type of style. Um, who would play? Oh man, I don't know. No idea.
Hmm. Yeah, who would play the
Um,
dandy? It'd be good.
um, there's, I think there's a lot of really good options out there. I mean, there's a lot of really great actors out there. I guess Florence, I love Florence. So obviously my first, but I mean, uh, I think that like if that ever happened, I think that would be that cast would be very, very interesting.
It would be. Okay. You meet your 13-year-old self. What advice do you give the younger you?
Man, um, stop hiding.
That's good.
Trust yourself. Stop hiding who you are.
Okay. You find that genie's lamp. What three things do you wish for?
Um, if I get that genie's lamp, I am going to wish for, Jesus. You know what? Money. Um, a lot of land, and yeah. Oh man. I think I would like for my third wish, for just me and my family to be healthy.
Awesome. Right. So what's next for Izzy Vaughn?
Right? I'm writing. I'm writing all the time. Yeah, I got the book coming out in a couple weeks. So I'm, just counting the days down. 2 weeks from today, and I'm putting promos out there. I'm gonna start, trying to do the push, and then after that, it's just finishing up the Dandy Part 2, and process starts all over again. I got a lot of ideas, so it's just um, finding the time.
We'll have to have you back on the show. I have to have you back on the show when either for the new book or when Dandy 2 comes out.
Totally.
'Cause that was really fun. Any shout outs you want to give to anyone?
Oh man, Adam's family, y'all rock. I love you guys. Uh, you put me on the spot here. No, I just my wife. I love you guys. I love my family for their support through this, because this is like, I mean, to do this, it takes a lot of dedication. Because I tell you what, I've only made $5 off of this thing.
Hmm.
Self-publishing thing. Um, so yeah, just thanks for the understanding, and yeah, thanks for the horror community for being awesome. Yeah.
Where can people find you online?
I'm mainly just on Instagram. Izzy writes horror stories. I don't. I have a TikTok, Izzy writes stories, but I barely write on, or I barely post on it because I don't know how to do TikTok. Like, I'm in my 40s, so like me just doing Instagram, like I feel like I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, I'm all over Instagram. Izzy writes horror stories. So, yep.
All right. Well, thank you for being a guest tonight, Izzy. It was
Thank
really, really fun talking to you. And
you.
like I said, I look forward to having you back again when your next book comes out. Okay,
Awesome.
don't forget, everyone, head on over to Amazon and check out A Dandy Among the Dead. And if you've enjoyed tonight's show, remember, like, share, subscribe at Critical Blast on YouTube. And that's it for tonight. The damn show is done.